I failed. That's how it is. But let's talk about it. And no, I'm not talking about the recent project that I've just announced last week. That one is perfectly fine. I'm talking about a project that was supposed to be an ongoing series of about 6 episodes, but we only managed to do the pilot episode. This is of course Wolfgang Doe.
Vor einigen Monaten hielt eine Serie von Morden die Stadt in Atem. Menschen und Biester waren gleichermaßen die Opfer.
Menschen und Biester in einer Gesellschaft. Das ist nur eine Frage der Zeit, bis das alles aus dem Ruder läuft.
When we released Mascot Fur Life in 2016/17, it was a huge success. Not only for me personally, but also in terms of festival runs, and we even won a prize at one of the festivals. And this motivated me to keep going, because I wanted to do my next project and I wanted to do it with the same team. The idea came around rather quickly, as a good friend of mine asked me to do a criminal kind of series, like a thriller, and I said, yeah, why not? And here in Germany we have this very successful format called Tatort, and this is one of the longest criminal series ever, so I took example in that. And the idea was to make something like this, but with anthropomorphic characters involved. So basically like Mascot Fur Life, but with a much, much darker setting. That was basically the idea, the rough idea. And when I started to think about the story, it already dawned on me that it was much, much more difficult to set up a whole world with their own rules, their own laws. And I was lucky enough that one of my good friends, Ulysses, was joining in and helping me with developing the story. We agreed upon that I would write the first episode, he would write the second, I would do the third one again, and he the fourth, and so on. And this went out pretty well on the paper, but the problems weren't even there yet. As we thought about how to finance the project, we immediately said to ourselves, okay, there is no way around a crowdfunding campaign. So we set up a crowdfunding on Startnext, and we even did a little teaser trailer for it so that people have an idea how this is going to look like. And it was a success at first because the people seemed to be interested and the money was coming in. But at the very end, we were even thinking that, oh no, we are not going to make it, because it was struggling to get the final money in. And I had to pay almost 1,000 euro myself so that we were able to reach the goal. That was our first thing that happened on the way. And I was not sure if this was a good sign. After the crowdfunding was done, we realized, okay, it's probably not enough to make all of the 6 episodes. That became very much clear. So I even talked to a few people, hey, you want to maybe support it? But I wasn't so lucky. And I even got banned from several Telegram groups because apparently I was asking too much. And yeah, we started to plan the project, and we thought at least do the first 2 episodes so that we have a good foundation to keep going on and maybe do another crowdfunding. The first big thing before the actual shoot started was having issues with the equipment, because I was planning to do the shoot with the camera of a good friend of mine who is a professional cameraman, and he said, oh, no problem, I can lend you my camera and the additional equipment for your shooting. But 2 days before the shoot, he said to me, there's a problem. He needs the camera himself. And I said, it's your job, you need your stuff, that's perfectly fine. But then I realized, shit, we don't have any equipment, we don't have anything to shoot on. I was saying to myself, do we cancel the shoot? Do we really say to all the people that we have been casted, that we have been called in for help 2 days before the shoot, no, it's not gonna happen? I said to myself, no, we can do this somehow. I made the decision, okay, let's borrow the camera from somebody else. The problem was, this was very expensive, and basically half of our whole budget that we have gotten from the crowdfunding was going into landing the equipment to make the shoot possible. And that was a low point. I thought, what have I gotten myself into? There was no way we are going to shoot anything beyond the first episode. I had trust in my project. I wanted it to go on. And then we did the shooting. And with all the expenses that followed, and after the shooting was completed, I saw that there was almost 10,000 euro of expenses for the whole episode. And I thought, how could I be so bad at calculating? How could I be so blinded by the fact that I only spent like 5,000 euro to make Mascot Fur Life? When it was time for the post-production of the first episode, I even had some more expenses that I haven't even thought of, because I was just calculating for what is happening on set, and I didn't even bother thinking about all the other stuff. And that was where I failed so massively. And at the end, when I calculated the final numbers, it all came down to like 12,000 euro. And we only had a budget of like 7,000 from the crowdfunding campaign. And there you have it. That meant for me, I had to step in personally to pay the remaining 5,000 euro myself. The whole experience of dealing with all of that numbers, the whole experience of not knowing how to get a way out of it, it just drained me. I wasn't having any fun with the project anymore, because after our premiere, that was when COVID happened. Originally, we had the idea to send the project to many festivals, to many places where it could be shown, including furry conventions. But COVID happened, and this was where it all died down somehow, because there was no way we would be able to shoot. Not because we didn't want to, but there were some regulations in all of Germany that kept us from even planning a shoot, of course, due to COVID restrictions. And as time went by, I was somehow losing interest in the project, and I was feeling bad myself because I couldn't even tackle the second episode because there was no money. And I was also afraid about the consequences that we wrote in our crowdfunding campaign. We will use this money to make a whole series. But at the very end, we just had made a pilot episode. This was basically what happened during the production of Wolfgang Doe, and I was very sad about it, because I really trusted the project. I really had high hopes for it, and I was very much satisfied with the work Ulysses did with the second episode and so on. And all I can say is sorry to all the people that donated money for the projects, to all the people who thought this will be something nice. And in case you people are still interested about the project, I've put down a link in the description. There you can see the pilot episode of Wolfgang Doe, and I really hope that my future projects won't be such a mess as this one, because even though it was a failure on my part, I learned a lot, and I definitely will put all my effort into not making the same mistakes again. Thank you for listening, and I see you on the next video, hopefully with some updates on the new animation project that I'm working right now. And until then, see you soon. Bye!